The bullet tore through my shoulder like a hot knife, and I hit the dirt, clutching the wound as blood soaked my flannel. The pain was blinding, but the shock was worse. Standing on my own land, staring down the barrel of a .45 held by Carl Whitaker, the HOA president of the shiny new Pinewood Estates next door. My name's Ethan Caldwell, and my family's owned this 200-year-old Montana ranch for 5 generations. It's 500 acres of rolling plains, pine-dotted hills, and history. Land my ancestors bled for. Carl wanted it bad, and when I said no to his lowball offer, he didn't take kindly to it. But shooting me? That was a new low even for him. It all started 6 months ago when Pinewood Estates popped up on the edge of my property. The developers had bought up the neighboring land, a failed cattle operation, and turned it into cookie-cutter mansions for city folks chasing the Montana dream. Carl, a slick real estate guy from Bozeman with a comb-over and a superiority complex, was elected HOA president. From day one, he had his eye on my ranch. Said it was prime real estate for expansion, golf course, clubhouse, the works. He offered me $200,000 for land worth 10 times that. I laughed him off. My great-grandfather built the log cabin I live in with his own hands in 1847. No amount of money was prying me off this dirt. Carl didn't let up. He'd show up unannounced, driving his glossy black SUV right onto my property, ignoring the no trespassing signs. He'd talk about progress and community value, as if my ranch was some eyesore holding back his utopia. When sweet-talking failed, he got nasty. He'd complain about my horses grazing too close to his fence, my barn's rustic look, even the smell of my hayfields. He sent letters on Pinewood Estates letterhead, citing fake violations, threatening liens. I'm not in his damn HOA. My land's been free and clear since before Montana was a state. But that didn't stop him. I told him to pound sand, every time. Things escalated last month. I caught surveyors on my south pasture, staking out my land like it was theirs. Carl was with them, clipboard in hand, smirking. "Just planning ahead, Ethan," he said when I confronted him. "This ranch would be better served under Pinewood's vision." I ran them off with my shotgun, not firing, just making a point. I called Sheriff Danvers, who's known my family since we were kids. He warned Carl to stay off my property, but Carl just flashed that smarmy grin and said, "We'll see." Danvers told me to lock my gates and keep a record of everything. I did, but I should have known Carl wasn't the type to back down. Yesterday morning, I was checking fences on my ATV, my collie blue trailing behind, when I saw Carl's SUV parked near my east gate. He was alone, leaning against the hood, holding something I couldn't make out. I pulled up, ready to give him hell for trespassing again. But before I could open my mouth, he raised a pistol. "You should have sold, Ethan," he said, voice cold as the November wind. "This land's mine one way or another." I didn't have time to react. The shot rang out, and I was on the ground, Blue barking like mad. Carl didn't expect me to be armed. I always carry a .38 revolver when I'm out on the ranch. Through the pain, I drew and fired back, clipping his leg. He screamed, dropped the gun, and stumbled to his SUV, peeling out as Blue chased him to the gate. I lay there, trying to stay conscious, blood pooling in the dirt. My phone was in my pocket, and I managed to call 911 before everything went hazy. Sheriff Danvers and the paramedics got to me fast. I was lucky the bullet missed bone, but I'd lost a lot of blood. At the hospital, Danvers took my statement while the docs patched me up. I told him about Carl's obsession with my land, the surveyors, the threats. Danvers' face was grim. "We picked Carl up at his house," he said. "He's claiming self-defense, says you pulled first. But we found his .45 on your property, and your dog's got half his pant leg. Plus, your call to 911 recorded part of it. He's in deep shit." Carl was charged with attempted murder, trespass, and a slew of other counts. His story fell apart when Danvers found emails between him and a developer, promising my land for a big payout if he could secure it. Turns out, Carl had been skimming HOA funds too, and needed my ranch to cover his debts. The Pinewood Estates board stripped him of his presidency that night, and the residents are calling for a full audit. Word is Carl's facing years behind bars. I'm home now, shoulder bandaged, Blue keeping watch by the fire. The ranch looks the same. Golden plains stretching to the mountains, the old cabin creaking in the wind, but it feels different. Violated. I've got a lawyer working on a civil suit against Carl and the HOA, not for the money, but to make sure no one else tries this crap. My neighbors, real ranchers like me, have been dropping by with casseroles and whiskey, offering to help with chores while I heal. They know what this land means. It's not just dirt, it's legacy. Every night, I sit on the porch, looking out at the stars, my great-grandfather's rifle across my lap. Carl thought he could bully me off my home, but he didn't know who he was dealing with. This ranch has seen wars, blizzards, and worse. It's still standing. So am I.